Hello, everybody. Namaste. It is Wednesday, the 13th of January, 2021. And today it is my honor and my pleasure to have Tarryn Inggs all the way from South Africa. So Tarryn is a healer. She's a quantum butterfly. She's a speaker. She's a truth seeker and works with numerology and as well as water. So Tarryn, welcome to Brilliant and Sexy with Devina Kaur. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the journey of healing and self-love.
Thank you, Devina, and hi, everybody. It's awesome to be here. So my journey is an interesting one. Since very young, I realized that something wasn't right in the world. There were a lot of things that didn't make sense to me, and I was kind of like, what am I doing here? And being an empath and feeling everything, it was quite tough. And as a teenager, I just decided I needed to kind of find a way to fit in. So I like to party, and I had the boys, and all that kind of stuff, the normal teenage life. And I grew up quite fast. Started working when I was 14. Really wanted my independence, and when all my friends were starting to work, I had been working for a lot longer than them. And I kind of started at age 24, and I was like, this can't be it. This can't be this corporate life where you're working, work to earn money, to pay for bills, and that's kind of like the cycle. It's just the same thing. And I was like, there's got to be more. And I started the spiritual journey, looked at crystals and looked at Reiki and did, past life regression, a whole lot of things. And then I became a mom, which obviously changes a lot of things. Your priorities change. And it must have been, my daughter was about 2, so it was about 9 years ago. I decided to switch the TV off. I could just feel there was not a good agenda behind it, and I started doing my own research, but always seeking the truth, but not from a headspace, from a feeling space. Because if something made me feel right, then I could sense the truth. And I stumbled across all these cabal, child sacrifice, awful things that are going on at the moment. And I kind of wasn't sure what to do with this information. Were you speaking to me?
I can hear you. My dog's barking.
Okay. And it was quite a lonely journey, because at these moments it's difficult to speak to people about this stuff. But 9 years ago it was even tougher. So I kind of cried a lot of tears, big prayers that hopefully this would be sorted out at some point. And fast forward, obviously, COVID came into the equation, the COVID hoax, and everybody else started sharing this stuff on social media. And a big part of me was hugely grateful, because I realized I'd found my tribe, other people that I could finally talk to this stuff about. And it's just been a journey from there. Always, everything is a stepping stone. Everything, you meet a messenger and you get the message and you learn something, but you carry on moving. And what I realized was, with the numbers and with the numerology chart that I did, and I realized what my challenges were, I realized what, my soul's purpose was. And my life path is 7, and the biggest challenge for a 7 is self-trust.
Self-trust, you said?
Yeah, to trust your feelings. Because although I would feel things, I would always kind of need other people's opinions to validate something. If I went for a job offer or something like that, I'd ask my mom what she thought, my best friend what they thought. I would never just trust exactly what I felt about something. And I've always heard about self-love disciplines and all this kind of thing. And, they're such simple things to do, but they're simple not to do. And for about 7 years, I had the awareness of them. And only this year did I really, really put them into practice. And it literally shifted everything for me. That self-trust, that relationship with your higher self, because that is who we are embodying when we go into the fifth dimension. So building that relationship with your higher self should be a massive priority in these moments to make the transition through that, as easy as possible.
And Taryn, we were talking earlier, and we spoke about self-love, and another form of self-love is getting adequate sleep. And we were both talking about how there is so much information out there, and we just don't have enough time to keep up with everything, right? Like, it's just so much information, so much misinformation and everything. And then Taryn was saying that it's she saw my dress and she's like, "Oh, you're wearing yellow today, orange, yellow." And I was like, "Yeah." So I want you to talk a little bit about how colors make a difference for us.
So every day of the week symbolizes a chakra. So Monday is the root chakra, and we use that, or we honor that. There's a mantra that we say: we eat red food. So eat tomato with dinner, or strawberries. Wear red if it's underwear or something in your hair or a t-shirt or something like that, just to connect with the chakra. And it sounds silly, but it makes such a big difference. And Gregory and I do host workshops where we help people debunk their numbers and see exactly where their challenges are. And the foundation of any session with us is the self-love disciplines. So we go through everything. There's a lot of mantras that you use. There's a lot of certain words you can use to really build that relationship with your higher self. And just working with honoring the chakra each day, sun gazing, drinking a lot of water. And especially because we're moving into the fifth dimension. So our DNA is shifting from carbon to crystalline. So drinking a lot of water, sorry.
Go ahead, finish that, and I have a question for you.
So drinking a lot of water is essential because water is consciousness. But the higher your consciousness level, the quicker you dehydrate, because you're processing so much energy that's coming in the whole time, that what happens is when you're not drinking enough water, you experience burnout or exhaustion, because that information is not able to flow through your nervous system, and it then creates friction, which then creates acidity in your body, and then creates burnout. So in these moments, water intake is very, very important.
I'm so glad you mentioned water, and I know you work with water as well. I personally drink like blue solar water, and I've done shows about this before. I've had guests talking about blue solar water, and I don't know if you're familiar with this, Taryn.
Mm-mm.
So this is from Ho'oponopono.
I know the Ho'oponopono. Yeah.
Yeah. So just very quickly, very briefly. So what you do is you say a mantra, which is the Ho'oponopono mantra, which is from Hawaii, and then you put the water with an intention in the sun for an hour. So like you said, sun gazing, getting the energy from the sun. That's what we're doing with the blue solar water as well, and we're putting high frequency water. And for me, this really helps, and it's such a and anything works because you have faith in it, right? So that's really important as well. So those of you who are here, speak to your water, talk to your water, energize it, keep an intention, and maybe Taryn, you can talk about that as well.
So
actually, I didn't. So lately, I've been very dehydrated. I drink water, but I'm thirsty all the time. So I'm so glad you mentioned that drink even more water, because we need that with the changing energies and everything.
Mm-hmm. And everything is energy. So everything we do will respond to us with intention. So I'm very aware of the Ho'oponopono prayer from Hawaii, and I know the story behind it, and it's powerful. What I've done a lot is working with crystals. And solid crystals communicate with liquid crystals, and every drop of water has got a liquid crystal in it. So if you put an intention into a solid crystal that you either wear on your skin because it touches your skin, it communicates with the water in your body, or you put in your water bottle or your jug, it's going to send that message, or whatever your intention is, of healing, of purity, of love, whatever that is, into your body, which is consciousness going into your body, which is going to communicate with yourself. I've done the same kind of process with healing water at the ocean. I put crystals in the ocean. It literally had dolphins and whales, because they're so sensitive to energy and frequency, they've come into the bay to come and see what's going on.
Wow, that's so beautiful. And water is life. It's
Yes.
unfortunately our water that we drink from the tap. It's very polluted. So make sure you're filtering your water. I don't know how it's in South Africa, but I'm in Canada, so the water is very it's got a lot of pollutants and bacteria, and even fluoride and everything. So you want to filter your water, get a Birkin filter, or get a filter that you believe in, so that you can have quality water. That way, raising your vibration, and always keeping your frequency at a very high level.
Can I tell you a very cool story?
Yes.
So where I learned to work with crystals, the lady that came and gave the talk, she was born in the Rocky Mountains, but she now lives in Amsterdam. And she's been traveling around the world using crystals, healing ceremonies at the ley lines all over the planet. She works with the Native American tribes all over the world. And she was saying that they went to Fukushima, where, obviously the radiation is exceptionally high in that water. I mean, it destroys everything. And a guy went into the water, and he grabbed a sample and a bowl, but he had his whole moon suit on and his anti-radiation stuff. And they took it into the lab, and they tested it, and the radiation was off the charts, obviously incredibly high. And she blessed and programmed, or put an intention into a crystal, put it inside that bowl, and 2 minutes later you could drink that water.
Wow.
So if you don't have a filter and you can't afford all these fancy things, we as humanity have no idea how powerful crystals are. And a lot of us collect them and they're pretty and we have them around our house, but we don't give them any attention. But when we do, and there's our bodies are made out of crystals. Our third eye is liquid crystal, and that's why they target it with fluoride to make it calcify, so that we don't have that connection. Our bones, our blood, everything's got crystal-like properties in them. So when we pay crystals attention and focus on them, we're communicating with them and they'll communicate with us. So putting intentions into crystals and putting them in your water will transform everything that's not of your highest.
Wow, that's such a beautiful tip. So guys, make sure that you are listening to what Taryn just said, where you can purify your water with your crystals. So I know a lot of us have so many crystals around, and I'm going to do the same thing. As soon as I finish our show today, I'm going to go and talk to my crystals. Everybody do that. Taryn, any last words about how to have more self-love, self-discipline, like you said, during these rough times?
So, a lot of people, and it's been an obsession in the light worker community with the twin flame thing. I mean, nothing gets more attention than, the twin flame. I've even had people reach out to me, there's this guy I'm in love with, and this is the story, and all this kind of thing, and what do you think? And, and what people don't understand is you've got to be your own twin flame. So once you have balanced harmonics within, which is basically being the divine masculine and the divine feminine to your own inner child. Okay, so once you can create that trinity within you, activates the Christ consciousness, it will literally activate your twin flame. But if people are continually seeking external wholeness, so I need somebody to make me feel complete, or we're putting our happiness in someone else's hands, we're not keeping our power, we're giving our power away. And it's a nice conversation to have on Solar Plexus Day, because that is our power center. So if anyone else is being made responsible for your feelings, or, depending on how they treat you, your feelings change, that person has your power. And that's where the self-love comes in, because once you have that stability within and you whole as you. I mean, when Gregory came into my space, I'd been single for a while, and I was actually so content on my own. I was honestly like, if I never have a relationship again, it's okay, because I'm so happy with me. I love time on my own. I love doing my thing. I love my friends. Like I was really not feeling like I was missing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he came into my space. So just, for people's awareness, the twin flame is just balanced harmonics within. It's not about another person.
This is so interesting though. You brought up the subject, because yesterday I did an interview on Twin Flame Reunion with Jen McCarty, and we spoke about the same thing. There was a lot of questions from the audience about how to meet the twin flame and a false twin flame and everything. But she also mentioned that, look for love within yourself. So this is really important throughout everything. Self-love is also self-discipline, right? But self-love starts from knowing who you are. And so often we don't even know, all of ourselves. And of course, it's a lifelong journey, but like we at Sexy Brilliant, and we follow the trademark KAUR formula, which is my last name, where K stands for knowledge. So knowing who you are, knowing your good side, but knowing also your not so good side. And that is where, from knowing yourself, you then have to have radical self-acceptance. And radical self-acceptance means accepting your good side and your not so good side, and then bringing them together and having more self-love. Taryn, over to you. Yeah, so this is, even through all of this, have more self-love. That's what it is about. Taryn, any last questions, last comments that you want to share with the audience?
So just for people's awareness, and I'm sure they probably have an idea of this, is, where we're moving to, our whole entire reality is going to change. The 3D is disappearing, and the fifth dimension is going to be very different. It's very much about co-creation. It's going to be very, very different to the reality that we see at the moment. And the ego is a program. Mm-hmm. And that is also something that we need to start dismissing, moving from the head to the heart. When you're in your mind, you're in the ego. When you're in your heart, that's when you connect to source, and you don't have to think about anything, because you are an open channel for inspiration. And when you just act on that in the moment, you're in the flow. But a lot of people we're connecting with, they've been in 3D jobs, they're kind of not happy. That a lot of people are selling their souls at the moment to obviously provide for their families, and it's getting more and more prevalent for them. Like they're becoming more discontent. And with the numerology session, it really unpacks your gifts, and what we find with people is it's a way of them giving themselves permission to be who they've always meant to be, and all we need to do is give ourselves permission. But we never do. And in the sessions, we obviously unpack all the self-love. And self-love is not having a manicure and a pedicure and a massage. Self-love is looking in your eyes in the mirror and doing your I am affirmations. It's grounding. It's conscious breathing. And meditation isn't something that's 20 minutes of gratification where you go and sit and quiet, listen to music. Meditation is being in the present moment.
I love it. Thank you so much. And such good points that, self-love is within you. And then what you said about meditation, like, and I don't share this with anybody, but my goal is to be at zero at meditation all the time. So, even while you're cooking, even while you're like going for a dog walk, repeat your mantra, or just kind of be in the moment, or just, ask for forgiveness, ask yourself for forgiveness, universal forgiveness. And that's what it's all about. It's about growing in your own power. And I know there's a lot of comments coming in. Cheryl says, self-love is the number one starting point. Duality, yes, your good and not so good side, and learning to accept the not so good side. Yes to this.
Then it's accepting all parts of yourself.
Accept all
Um,
parts of yourself. Kristen says, twin flame is within. So thank you so much, Kristen, for that. And lots of comments, guys. We're gonna yeah. So a lot of people are talking between themselves, and we're gonna come to the end of the show. So we're gonna pull the sexy, brilliant empowerment cards to see what the message is for today. Taryn, are you ready for this? So all the cards want to come out. Look. Let's see. Okay. Oh, all right. We got a card. Can you see that?
no, the screen's quite small, but I'd love you to read it.
It says, grow with love. So love again. We want to be better in love. Be sexy and brilliant and choose to rise in love. The more love we have for ourselves, the more love we can share with others. We are made to grow in long-lasting love with ourselves and everybody around us. So
Awesome. Love it.
grow with love. It's really love. It's connecting to your heart, and from there, finding more love for yourself so you can have more love for others. So beautiful message. Thank you, Taryn, so much for joining us.
You're
And
welcome. Thank you for having me.
thank you. And there's I just want to take a moment to wish everybody in many parts of the world are celebrating Lori today too. So everybody's celebrating Lori and Makar Sakranti. Very, very happy prosperity, and Lori wishes. A lot of comments coming in about that from people in India. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining in. And those of you who may not know me, my name is Devina Kaur, and I am the author of a spiritual self-help book called Too Fat, Too Loud, Too Ambitious. It's available at major bookstores as well as Amazon. So please check that out. And it's also available on our nonprofit foundation at sexybrilliant.org. Please make sure that you're signed up for our newsletter as well as check out our merch there. So thank you, Taryn, once again. And namaste to everybody. It's an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.